What's up everyone, Darcblade here with my video review for Destiny. Developed by Bungie and published by Activision, Destiny was released on the 9th of September worldwide. It was released for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. It also came with a free upgrade for PlayStation 3 and 360 users, allowing them to upgrade their version to current gen. Destiny has been in development for over 5 years. During this time it has built up a lot of hype and expectations. But has that time in development paid off for this new IP? Now before I talk about the story, I'm going to try to avoid any major plot spoilers. The story in Destiny revolves around the Traveler, a mysterious sphere that came to Earth, bringing prosperity with it. It expanded human lifespan, changed worlds, and brought a golden age to all of humanity. Unfortunately, the Traveler was being hunted, pursued by an entity called the Darkness. Now the Darkness has finally located the Traveler and is moving in, bringing with it various alien factions as they strive for the Traveler's destruction. At this time of need too, the Traveler has fallen silent, and it falls to the Guardians to try to do their best to prevent it and humanity's destruction. You take the role in this conflict as one of the Guardians, defending Earth and the Traveler. Your Guardian is created by you and is your avatar in this world. The story is mostly told with interactions with your ghost. The ghost is a little tiny AI that follows you around, helping you fulfill your destiny. You will also interact with other major parties that move the story of Destiny along. There are various races in Destiny, each with their own background. There are the humans, which are pretty straightforward, the Exos, which are a mysterious sentient AI race, and then there's the Awoken, who were created during the Great Collapse. Now each one of these races have a lot more lore to it, but I'm not going to go into that in this review. Now, as with most MMO games out there, sometimes the story can suffer with so many players in the same world. It can sometimes make the story feel less of a personal one and more of a collective experience. I feel that the background lore is rich, and it puts a lot more into the game's story. However, you need to do your research to discover everything about the lore of Destiny via the Grimoire cards found on Bungie.net. You gain these cards as you play through the game. Overall, Destiny's story is down to what the player makes of it. It is very lore heavy, and if you put the time into reading about the lore via the Grimoire cards, then you're bound to get a lot more out of Destiny's story. Failing this though, sometimes the story could feel a bit impersonal, as is the case with most MMO-esque games. It is also very short, and if all you're willing to try is the story missions, you are going to have a bad time, as the game expands far more after the story missions end. Now the gameplay of Destiny combines many genres together. You could describe it as an MMO, RPG, FPS, or a massive multiplayer online role-playing game first-person shooter. The shooting and FPS aspects of Destiny will feel familiar to anyone who has played any of the Halo games. It is responsive and controls smoothly. The multiple weapons you can collect in the game feel varied and are fun to use. The only issue I have, which is more of a personal taste thing than anything, is the jumping can feel a bit floaty at times. However, when you consider that a lot of the locations in the game have low gravity, it makes sense. You get to play as one of 3 classes in the game, each having their own unique abilities and talents. You can play as the Stoic Titan, who is the toughest out of the 3 classes, the Cunning Hunter, who is the fastest out of the 3, or you can play as the Magic Wielding Warlock. Each one feels different to the other, and your choice can affect your enjoyment of the game. Luckily, the level cap is not too high, and you can have multiple Guardians to play as. The RPG or role-playing elements of Destiny come in the form of your Guardian's stats and gear. You are able to customize your Guardians with various armor and weapons that you earn throughout your time with Destiny. These will also give your Guardian various boosts to their stats. Like most RPGs, you will gain experience from completing bounties, missions, killing enemies, and participating in PvP combat. With this experience, you will rise in level, allowing you to use better gear and tackle the harder content in Destiny. I can understand that this might be a bit tedious for some players, especially those who don't enjoy RPGs, but I loved it. Lastly, there is the MMO aspect of the game. Destiny always has to be online to get the most out of it, as you are part of a sprawling community. The central location is the tower. Here in the tower you can interact with other Guardians, collect bounties and missions, deal with various vendors, and advance Destiny's story. Destiny has many activities you can participate in. You have the PvE aspect, basically missions to advance the story, general exploration of the planets in Destiny, strike missions and raids. Strike missions are like dungeons found in other games, and is where most of the PvE endgame content is found. At the endgame, some of these strike missions can be very tough, and it takes a good team of players in order to complete them. You also have the PvP aspect of Destiny. PvP is referred to as the Crucible, which you take part in competitive matches against other players. Lastly, you have the tower, which is where most of your social interaction will take place. There really is enough here to entertain most types of players. Overall, the gameplay of Destiny is very ambitious, trying to cater to many playstyles out there. For the most part, I think it works though. I found the PvE aspects of the game the most enjoyable. You get to take part in solo or group explorations, strike missions, data-like dungeons, and endgame raids. I cannot comment too much on the endgame raids, as the game is still in its infancy, but I have high hopes for the future with patches and expansion packs. The PvP aspect feels solid enough, with the gameplay during matches feeling smooth and responsive. Lastly, the social tower aspect feels very similar to other MMO games that have capital cities. Now normally I would talk about the multiplayer section here, but as the entire game is mostly an online game, I will be skipping this section. This is because almost every part of this game can be tackled in multiplayer with multiple people. That doesn't mean you have to play with a group though, as you can solo a lot of things. But for raids and strike missions, you normally need a group. You can either go with a friend into these missions, or there is a matchmaking system. The presentation of Destiny is very decent all round. The graphics, especially on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox, are decent enough. The graphics, however, on the previous gen systems suffer a bit, but this is to be expected with the hardware limitations. There has been a lot of attention to detail in the art design for this game. You may come across the odd texture here and there, but you really have to dive deep in order to find them. The creation of your Guardian is quite in depth with various features that you can edit. Most user created characters never look that good, but in Destiny it's something special, and the characters look like they are the main characters in their own story. The voice acting is adequately done. It's by no means the best you will hear, but is competent enough. Some characters at times sound a little bit slow or disinterested in the story, but some put in a good performance. I was pleased with the overall performance of Peter Dinklage after the worry of the Destiny Alpha. The rest of the sound and music in Destiny fits the art style of the game, with haunting and melancholy melodies that bring you into the game's universe. Overall, the game's presentation has had a lot of love put into it. It shows that Bungie have tried to create a universe that is rich and full. Overall, Destiny is trying to please a lot of people and combine many genres of gaming. However, does it work? I would say yes, although keep in mind that the main bulk of the gameplay is an FPS, with the RPG and MMO aspects backing it up. If you're not an FPS fan, you will probably not get along with Destiny at all. That being said though, the FPS mechanics work really well in my eyes. Any fan of Halo will get along with how Destiny plays. The story is maybe the weakest area of the game. That being said, if you take your time to learn about the lore and backstory, it will help deepen the storyline of Destiny, making it more fulfilling. I just wish that they had included this lore in-game somehow, rather than having to go to an external website. You have to praise Bungie a little bit for creating a new IP, which is a rare thing these days. However, with a new IP comes comparisons to previous titles, and thoughts of generic FPSs will spring to people's minds who have not played Destiny before. Thinking like this though will be doing the game a disservice. One thing I got to say about Destiny, well, really about all games that have a heavy social aspect, is that your enjoyment of the game will partly be in who you play with. If you can find a good group of players to tackle the endgame elements, you are bound to have fun. If not, then the lifespan of Destiny will be shortened. Destiny is a game that is going to be supported for a long time, with expansions and new content. Bungie claimed that they would like Destiny to last for years. If this is the case, then this review might not judge Destiny fairly. But this is a review of the early days of Destiny. At this point, I can say that I'm not disappointed and I am looking forward to the future of Destiny. Anyway, I've been Darcblade bringing you my video review of Destiny. Hope you enjoyed the video, thanks for watching, subscribe and like for more.
We might want to check this out. Knew we'd get into this. I've established a link. We can track him and his guard. This is bad.